ridiculous and sycophantic support of everything President Obama's done. They claim that the national honor of the United States is at stake. But really what's at stake is President Obama's judgment. President Obama's character. The world may respect him even less. I don't think the world will respect America even less. And we are told that this is about morality. And there's something very unseemly about being pushed to an action on the basis of morality when the moral imperative, the rationale, the justification for taking some kind of moral action is so hazy and strange. Because why are we having to take moral action after 1,400 deaths, but over 100,000 deaths we were perfectly comfortable as a nation not making it our problem? Well, President Obama made this specific act his problem. He was very firm, though, for over 2 years about how Syria was something for the Arabs to figure out on their own and for the international community to pretend to do something about it. And really, the international community, as we speak about it, is essentially a collection of developed states working through feckless institutions like the UN. But the desperation and the media frenzy right now about a possible strike in Syria, that is both so minimal as to be unworthy of concern, but strong enough as to send a powerful message to our enemy and all of our other enemies around the world. Think about that. Somehow it manages to be, just as President Obama manages to promise throughout his entire presidency to do things that defy the laws of market physics reality. It seems the commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world, wants us to perhaps consider a war to placate his ego. However, I presume now that that is the influence of money, and that even the founders worried about this. If you look back into the Federalist Papers, there were concerns about starting a war for purely personal reasons, because that wasn't unheard of at the time of the founding. In fact, monarchs in Europe did this on a regular basis for their own personal benefit, for their own personal glory. So is it impossible to conceive of an Obama presidency that decides military action? But military action in this case is warranted merely because of credibility, is the word they like to use. I would say ego. I think the answer is yes. But they're so concerned right now because the illusion has begun to tear and the entire Obama administration mythology is coming apart. Once there's one little seam, once it starts to open up, they worry the rest of it will come. And now it's a matter of judgment for the American people to reflect on the character of this administration and its leader, President Obama, because we just don't trust him. And the progressives are worried because they know the American people just don't trust him. At least not the same way they did in many of them. Never. Remember, this is the administration that told us a video caused a coordinated terrorist attack on 2 U.S. facilities in Benghazi when there was no evidence for this. They lied to us. Bald-faced lies. This was an administration that's not willing to leak the most sensitive national security information imaginable and make an absolute example, a horrific example of anybody who speaks out against them under the guise of national security protection. This administration is never chastened or humbled, and I say it because the tyrannical impulse, tyrants, do not feel the need to justify their actions to their subjects. This is an administration that seeks to rule and not to serve. This all comes from the top. The entire debate right now is an outgrowth of the fraud that has been perpetuated, that President Obama is a worldly, strategically minded man. A man who has a deep understanding of both what America does in the world and what America should do in the world, and respects and loves that, and takes on that mantle as the commander-in-chief. But what we see is that that's actually not the case. And what we see now is a region that is so misunderstood by the administration and on the edge of real collapse and calamity. And no one will tell you this, but I we will break down exactly what is happening, not just here in the debate, Congress, with our policy. I want to take you to the best of our ability today on this show, to what's happening on the ground, what the trajectories are, what the Islamists and the jihadists and the Salafists are planning, not just in Syria, but in the surrounding region. What that means for you, what that could do to oil prices, to our national security, real national security threats to us. It's time we get serious about this. It's time we pay attention, and it's time we stop listening to those who have not only been wrong so often in the past, but have been so glib as they lied to our faces. All right, have to take a break here. Tweet at me at Buck Sexton on Twitter. Facebook, the Buck Sexton. The conversation continues in the break. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back. We have a lot of work to do.
Truth. This is the Glenn Beck program.
Mercury. When news breaks, depend on us. News Radio 1190, KEX. Don's dream of owning a home was crushed. Don became the victim of identity theft, and he didn't even know it. His credit was ruined. Don couldn't even get a business loan. Nervous and confused, Don called LifeLock, the industry leader in identity theft protection. LifeLock went into action, uncovering multiple fraudulent credit applications identity thieves were trying to open in his name. LifeLock shut him down. Don found out the hard way, identity theft has become very, very complex, and you just can't fight it alone. Stories like this remind me why I choose to protect myself and my family with LifeLock Ultimate. Do what I did. Do what Don did. Arm yourself with LifeLock Ultimate. Visit LifeLock.com/Beck for details and get a special 10% discount, or call and use the promo code BECK and get the special 10% discount at 1-800-440-4936. 1-800-440-4936. 1-800-440-4936. Network doesn't cover all transactions and scope may vary. As many as 7.5 million Americans have psoriasis, and many of them suffer in silence, hiding their itching, flaking, and discomfort. If you're living with psoriasis, your new life begins now when you call for a risk-free trial of Ceraderm. Ceraderm provides fast topical relief of skin psoriasis. Ceraderm helps to stop the itches, irritation, redness, and flaking caused by your psoriasis. Even if you've tried everything else, even if you've suffered for years, imagine living without discomfort and embarrassment, and without wearing long clothes to hide your psoriasis. We're so confident you'll love your skin after using Ceraderm that we're offering it risk-free. But you have to call now. Call 1-800-589-0833. That's 1-800-589-0833. Try Ceraderm risk-free. Call 1-800-589-0833. That's 1-800-589-0833. The iHeartRadio Music Festival. Become the Triple J. Tickets are sold out. Run them, win them. Keep listening. Keep it here. Your chance to win is on 1190 KEX. Every week in Oregon and Southwest Washington, 70 women are diagnosed with breast cancer, and 10 will die. They and thousands of families like them need your help. Register today for the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, presented by Wells Fargo, happening Sunday, September 15th at Tom McCall Waterfront Park. Your registration fee gets you to the start line. Your fundraising saves lives. Who will you race for? You can register anytime between now and the race. Just go to ComenOregon.org to register and start fundraising. This is Dr. Dharma of Aesthetic Medicine. You can't exercise away those unsightly areas of fat. Consider the LipoLift. Now, for a limited time, you can get half off the second area. Visit drdharm.com, then call us for a free consultation. Reshape and resize with the LipoLift. If you have type 2 diabetes, please listen carefully to the following announcement. If you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and are between 18 and 75 years of age, you may be eligible to participate in a clinical research study of an investigational oral diabetes medication. You may be eligible for the study if you are currently being treated with only diet and exercise and your blood sugar is not at target levels. If you qualify, you will receive study-related examinations by a study doctor along with study medication at no cost. If enrolled, you may be reimbursed for your possible travel expenses. For more information about this important study, please call Evergreen Research at 503-631-4491. That's 503-631-4491. Every week in Oregon and Southwest Washington, 70 women are diagnosed with breast cancer, and 10 will die. They and thousands of families like them need your help. Register today for the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure, presented by Wells Fargo. Sunday, September 15th seems at the start, you're fucking. We are pulling U.S. diplomats out of certain non-essential personnel, out of certain posts. That's a sign to me that they at least expect reprisal. That's pretty straightforward. But that may just be the beginning. We haven't even had a congressional vote yet. And I would say this to you. The notion that this is somehow going to change things dramatically in any way is always counterbalanced by their promise that this will be minimal. So you're caught in this place of, whoa, I don't understand. Are we doing something or are we not doing something? Isn't it one or the other? Go or no go, yes? There is a long-standing history of U.S. intervention in the Middle East. And I'm not just talking about Iraq. I'm not talking about Afghanistan, although that's South Asia, at least. There's a long-standing history of not just U.S. intervention. One thing I think is very interesting, and we'll get to the allies that are supposedly lining up behind us to do something. The tens of allies that they won't name. They'll name two of them. The two that they'll name are Turkey and France. What's fascinating, of course, are that Turkey and France are the former colonial powers in charge of, that's right, the countries that at one point actually owned Syria, so to speak, or were in control of the territory, including the French, who had their own problems there. It's not the first time that the Middle East has been in flames as people try to cobble together governments. This is a cycle. This has happened over and over again in the past. And if you look back, it's very easy to find that the French had their problems in Syria as well. In fact, the French bombed Syria. That's right, the French bombed Damascus. In 1925, not in 1925, after the Ottoman Empire lost Syria as a territory, the French tried to set up a reasonably stable government. They encouraged them to have a constitution. They encouraged elections. Now, this is not to say the French did not have their own very selfish reasons for all of these. I'm sure they did. But they did try to set up something resembling a stable democracy in France. Don't those words just automatically conjure up all kinds of memories for us? Trying to set up a stable democracy in the Middle East. That was 1925. We also, of course, have had numerous U.S. interventions into the region, and I don't mean the huge ones of recent past. I mean, for example, when we decided that we should go into Lebanon with the multinational force, MNF Lebanon. Now, what happened there? We tried to hold warring parties apart from each other, from strangling and killing and maiming each other. In Lebanon, it was U.S. and there was also a French contingent. And we hoped that somehow this would result in stability and peace and a better future there. And that hope was dashed after the 1983 bombing of the Marine barracks, in which 241 American servicemen and 58 French soldiers were killed. The USS New Jersey, a battleship, actually fired on Lebanon in 1980. So we've shelled them ourselves. Now, Lebanon and Syria, of course, are absolutely intertwined. Lebanon was essentially a staple of Syria for quite some time. But when you go back and you look at this, every time we go, it's with relatively similar intention, which is to quiet things down, to make it better. And here we are yet again. It's a cycle, isn't it? You've noticed, we go, things don't change. We try. The French try. Heck, in some ways, I guess the Ottomans tried in their day. It is interesting that the Turks are willing to lend out a hand here. I think the Turks always have a bit of latent imperial ambition to reclaim old territory, but that's just me. And of course, the Turks are becoming increasingly Islamist with every passing day. But I digress. So why offer training and weapons? Why offer to help? how much difference do we really think this can make? I think that that's a very important question. Why do we think that all of a sudden this would be the best possible outcome, or this could provide the best possible outcome, could push for a more stable situation in Syria? Training takes time. I was a CIA officer. I was in the Office of Iraq Analysis. I am intimately familiar with the issues and problems of training a foreign government's military, or training foreign forces of any kind. This is not something that can be done quickly or on the cheap, and also, you don't control what these people do. I'm always reminded of what those who were willing to be a little bit more upfront about things would say, is that you don't buy Afghan warlords, you rent them. And we found out that it was a short-term rental, didn't we? The reality of Syria is that there are so many combatants on the ground, our involvement there is unlikely, even if we wanted it to be relatively impactful. If we wanted to actually make a difference on the ground, to halt what's happening with Assad's forces in some way, which the administration, meanwhile, by the way, says that won't happen. But if we did do that, I wonder how that would be. I want to know what they think would be the outcome there. And I also am brought back to the notion that President Obama is playing games with our Congress. If he goes to Congress because he wants their buy-in, I want to know why the Congress shouldn't say, you've already told us that you can do this on your own. So why come to us at all? You're the commander-in-chief. You're the executive. If you have the executive authority, you don't have to come and get our say-so. And we're not going to give you our say-so if it's going to be I think they should just say, we don't want to do this. We should just table it. Or say no. But you have to look at why it would work this time, even under Obama's framework, why this would make a difference. The moral question is, of course, as I've said, very hazy. But when you look at the history of interventions, U.S. and European, in the region, there is an eerie feeling of deja vu. And not just because a lot of the time it was the French doing this. There's an eerie feeling of we've tried so hard, so many times, and yet every time we open up the popular vote in one of these countries, every time we try to help them form a better society, the Islamists become ascendant, the military gets threatened, they crack down, you have dictatorship, you have autocracy, and we're in a position where we can either play with the guys in charge or hope that maybe somehow we still have oil shipments, or hope that somehow things just continue on without us being directly and strategically threatened. So next I want to take you into what John Kerry is saying about this. I want to take you into the notion that he seems to think that our military is for rent. That's not an exaggeration. I will play the clip for you. And you will tweet at me, at Buck Sexton on Twitter, Buck Sexton on Facebook, rather. Send me messages during the break, send me questions. Call in as well, 888-727-BECK. I want to hear from you. We got a lot more to do. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back.
This is Glenn Beck. Get informed, get entertained, get interactive at theblaze.com/TV.
Mercury.
Your first preset for news, traffic, and weather, 1190 AM. Depend on us, KEX. News Radio 1190, KEX. First with traffic at the top and bottom of the hour.
There was a lengthy cleanup of the glass and debris that spilled on TV Highway near 234th, but all lanes have been reopened. That's in both directions. Watch out for a wooden pallet in the roadway. It's on the downtown side. It's as you make the approach to the Ross Island Bridge through the S-curve to head east. Be traffic smart in the Bedmont Traffic Center. Lynn Masterson.
The Gresham Subaru Weather Update. Gresham Subaru is the big Subaru store.
Here comes the drier weather ahead for the afternoon and for the entire weekend. Daytime highs will be around 71. Partly cloudy tonight, lows around 59. Partly sunny tomorrow after morning clouds, highs near 77. Sunday looks great, 80s ahead. And next week we could warm to 90 by Tuesday afternoon. In the KT Storm Tracker Weather Center, I'm Rhonda Shelby.
News is just 3 minutes from now. News Radio 1190 KEX.
This report is brought to you by Union Gospel Mission, Portland. It's Union Gospel Mission's 13th annual Operation Overcoat, a drive to put a warm coat on every homeless person in Portland. Just $30 provides a coat, new shoes, and more. You can turn coats into hope at UGMPortland.org. That's UGMPortland.org.
The sold out 2013 iHeartRadio Music Festival in Las Vegas. Are you ready to go? Be listening to win your ticket. Brought to you by MasterCard. Getting close to the music you love? Priceless. Attention seniors and baby boomers. A new website has been created just for you. SocialSecurityFree.com. At SocialSecurityFree.com, will help you add 150 Social Security payouts. Change the amount of money you pull. One simple step. Your monthly payout. And other loopholes we found with the 50% on your groceries, along with 49 other ways to save as much as $50,000 starting today. Newsmax says SocialSecurityFree.com is a credit Social Security check. That's SocialSecurityFree.com. MasterCard. Gets auto in all with locations new and created for unlimited money with info pay. That's from info pay. And the money shop. For the Cure, Sunday, September 15th. Get details and sign up today at 1190KEX.com. Presented by Wells Fargo and Clearchest Communities. On 1190 KEX. It's very complicated, but you beat us to the punch. Good information. Use radio 1190 KEX. You can use it this time every Hey Siri, what's your favorite college football team?
I only want to root for the underdogs. I guess that makes me a fan of Morgan State right now.
Well, not underdogs by any means.
You're home for every hit.
Every hit, yeah.
Every first down.
First down, yeah.
Every Mike Coca-Cola can say, touchdown Beavers.
Touchdown Beavers, right, yeah.
Oregon State Beavers.
On Youth Radio 1190
KEX.
What she said. Our top story, Multnomah County Commission Chair Jeff Kogan announcing his resignation. It will be effective September 16th. Earlier this summer, Kogan announced he was having an affair with county employee Sonia Manhaus. In his resignation letter, Kogan says he is deeply sorry that we failed to live up to the trust of county residents. A state investigation continues into whether Kogan used his leadership position to advance Manhaus's career. He says that didn't happen and that he expects to be clear of the charges. President Obama will address the nation about the situation in Syria this Tuesday, speaking of G20 economic summit in Russia about how Syria's use of chemical weapons a threat for global peace and security. Former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez pleading not guilty to first-degree murder and weapons charges. Hernandez appearing in the Massachusetts courtroom today for his home. I'm Brad Ford, News Radio 1190 KEX.